What's up, everybody? Welcome to Behind the Lines NFL Week 8. Daniel Dobush is out this week. Dude Man PA, Ryan Reed, will be joined by Brian Edwards, who can be found on Twitter at VegasBEdwards. Brian, how you doing this week?
Doing great, Ryan. Thanks for having me.
Hey, glad to have you. I see that you have an astounding record over there at VegasInsider, and we're excited to hear what you've got for us on Week 8 NFL. Let's jump right into it. First off, we've got the Ravens and the Buccaneers. What were you thinking here for the Thursday night duel?
Brady has only been a home underdog 5 times since 2014, so I was thinking about the Bucs early in the week, but now obviously it's flipped and the Bucs are favored. I was leaning Bucs. It's hard to back this team right now with their struggles, but they are at home, but they are 0-3 against the spread at home and only 1-2 straight up. Nevertheless, I can't back a road team on a short week game, so I'll hold my nose and say the Bucs.
You're going to take the Bucs on this one. I think I was going to be on this under here. I'm going to take the under 46.5. What do we have on trends? Baltimore is 7-3 to the under so far in the last 10. And let's see, Tampa Bay is also 7-3 to the under. You look at their last 5 games, which would exemplify the part where you're saying they're not looking so great. Brady's not playing so well. They're 4-1 to the under. And I believe that is also the same for Baltimore. So I'm going to jump on under 46.5. I'm putting you down for the Buccaneers spread.
Correct.
And you're going to get a nice -1.5 on FanDuel.
That'll work.
Excellent. Broncos, Jaguars. Will the Broncos win a game again this year? I don't know. I don't think it'll be this week. What do you like for the Broncos, Jaguars game?
These are 2 fade teams for me. I had the Giants last week, and but if I have to pick it, I'm gonna go under 39.5. Both offenses struggling here. The under 6-1 overall for Denver. And that's despite having a couple of games that went to overtime, and they still went way under. Their second in the NFL in total defense, third in scoring D, only giving up 16.4 points per game. But Denver dead last in the NFL in scoring, only 14.3 points per game. I think Nathaniel Hackett showed himself in week 1 to be the worst coach in the NFL. It's been brutal, but at least he's got a good defense, so I'll go under.
I like that play. I have under 39.5 written down as well for myself. I just don't see how there's enough points scored on the Broncos side of this ball. And I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to try and run the ball a little bit and maybe slow down this game, not allow the mistakes to come and give the Broncos a defensive touchdown on a pick 6 or anything like that. That sounds great. Let's move down the line. Next up, we've got the Bears at the Cowboys. Dak was back. He looked rusty. They still pulled out a win. They are once again home favorites. How are you feeling about this 10-point spread?
Well, the Bears being on a short week, going on the road, they're obviously off their, maybe week 1 against the Niners or Monday night against New England. One of those 2 is probably their best performances of the year. I really don't like laying a big number like this, but Dallas is 3-1, both straight up and against the spread at home, 5-2, both straight up and against the spread. Overall, I prefer Dallas in a teaser, 7-point teaser, where you can drop them down to -2.5 and couple them with the G-Men +10 at Seattle and the Jets +9.5. But just in terms of a straight play on this game, I would go Dallas -9.5. Although don't like laying a lot of points like that, but short week for the Bears, and hopefully Dak will look a lot better. But other than that first half against Philly, Dallas's defense just lights out all year, and I don't see Bears scoring many points.
I'll go with that. I don't like the 10-point spreads, just like you kind of touched on there. That's a number where I'm going to try and throw it in a teaser. So as far as a straight up play, I'm actually going to take this over. I'm going to take the over 42.5. I'm going to hope the Bears can squeak out, 13 to 16 points, and Dallas can put up 27 to 30. And that's going to get me over the hump here. That's all I got on that. Let's move on to the Raiders and the Saints. This game could be fun. I see that there has some movement to this over, I thought. We've up 3 or 4 points here. What are you thinking for the Raiders Saints game?
Well, I would certainly like to know about some of these key players for the Saints, especially Jarvis Landry, Michael Thomas, and the lockdown cover corner Lattimore, who are all, still questionable. I mean, if all 3 of those guys were to get upgraded, I would probably lean to the Saints. Looking at the total, it seems. I mean, I know that New Orleans has hit 4 overs in a row. Man, I just would really like to know what's up with all these injuries before I commit to it. But for the purpose of this program, I will go. I'll go Las Vegas here on the road.
Okay, you're going to take Vegas -1. I actually have 2 plays in this game. I'm going to take Vegas -1 also, but I'm going to jump in and we're going to jump on some of the trends. Plus, you see how this is unfolding. The Raiders are not stopping a nosebleed. We're going to play in a dome. Everybody likes the indoors. Both of these teams are home domes. So last 5 games, 4-0 to the over. And then we've got last 5 games, 4-1 to the over. So I'm going to go ahead and write down the over 49 as well. I believe that's the best number we can grab, and we're going to take that. So that's a double play for me on this one. And now we get a delicious game with the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. I've been riding the Falcons pretty heavy here for a few weeks. They've been coming through for me. I don't know that I really want to play with the 4 here as a home favorite. If this number's been moving the other way, if I could somehow stall a little bit longer, as I see we've gotten to a -3.5. If I can get a 3, I'll jump in. But right now, I'm just going to wait. What are you feeling for this game?
Yeah, so the first favorite / chalk roll for the Falcons on the season. It's also the Falcons' lowest total of the year. I know Carolina's defense obviously looked really good last week, but and they finally showed a little life offensively. And the Falcons, they have been only 17 last week, but they give up a lot. Their secondary is really banged up right now. So I'm thinking the over, again, 4-2 overall on the season for the Falcons. And, they're 4th in the NFL in rushing yards. So low total, I will go over. And Carolina's not that great at stopping the run, ranked 21 in the NFL. So I will go over the the number low in the low 40s.
All right, we got you down for, we're going to give you this nice Caesars number here of over 41 to get you away from the hook. I have written down Atlanta -3.5, as I already stated. I didn't play it yet. I'm trying to wait and see if I can get to a 3. If I can't get to a 3, I may skip this game, or I'm just going to tail Brian's pick and go with the over. So where are we going next? We have Steelers-Eagles. The Battle of Pennsylvania. Who's going to win this one?
Well, Philly's going to win. I just don't know who's going to cover. I made Philly 11.5. Are we only doing sides and totals here? Because these first half team total overs for Philly are on fire. I don't know if that gets to count as a play on this one. If not,
100%. If we got quarters, halves, anything like that, let's go ahead and drop them out there.
All right, sweet. Well, are you seeing a team total over in the first half? Because Philadelphia is undefeated on those to the over this year.
I don't have a team total for the first half pulled up.
I apologize. I will look it up while you're giving your opinion of this game, and then then we'll know.
All right, we got the Eagles at home. I don't like the 10 points. They're definitely going to win the game. I'm more interested in playing an under, as I don't think the Steelers are going to put up a lot of points. I don't think the Eagles are really going to run away with 30-plus points. I think this is just going to be a slower game. I'll take the under 43.5, and hopefully that gets me out the door with a W on this one. Did you find a team total for the first half?
I sure did. 13.5 over is at either a minus 120 or a minus 115 price, and they have gone over all those every game this year. So team total over 13.5 in the first half for the Eagles for me.
I like that. I'm going to follow you on that one. That sounds like a good play. All right, let's move to Detroit, I believe. We've got the Dolphins on the road in Detroit. Let's see who's gonna cover here. What's going down with these two teams? Tua looked fairly decent on his week back. Tyreek Hill still looks slightly unstoppable. What's your favorite play in this game?
So I was playing a lot of Detroit overs successfully early in the season, and coming out of that Seattle game, they were ranked number 1 in the NFL in scoring, but they've been held to 2 field goals in the last 8 quarters. Unless that was 2 field goals last week. They didn't go for 2 on a touchdown, did they? Yeah, it was 2 field goals. Yeah. My apologies, but yeah. So I'm thinking under here. I've seen 51.5 or maybe 52 back-to-back unders for Detroit. Combined scores of 30 and 29. Miami 5-2 to the under, 4-1 in their last 5 games. This is the second highest total of the season for the Dolphins. And I know DeAndre Swift is back for Detroit, and so that'll probably give their offense a little bit of spark. But for Miami, this seems like a really high total, even in the game with Buffalo, where they had their only total in the 50s. It looked on track for the over in the first half or at halftime, but even that one fell 2 touchdowns under at just 40 combined. I know it is indoors, and Detroit had these low-scoring games here recently on the road at Dallas and New England. So, that scares me a touch. But Detroit's offense has not looked good last 2 weeks. And, yeah, I'm going to go under 51.5 or 52.
I'll agree with you there. I see that we had some sharp money come in, and I think that was just to drive it up over this 51. I was a little worried about some of Detroit's home numbers as well. They do seem to give up a lot of overs there at home, but they also do look like they're struggling a little bit. They're not the best team. So let's go ahead and jump right in with you. I'll take under 51.5 as well. And now we've got Cardinals Vikings. This is a game that I'm definitely not interested in taking an under. What are you thinking?
I like the Vikings here on the side, as they are 5-1 straight up. Now, they have not been very good against the number, only 2-4 ATS, but those have mostly been bigger numbers. They were laying double digits to the Bears, and at minus 3.5. I got to go to the Vikings. Favorable spot here with the open date. I know they haven't been very good off the open date here recently. However, this is a new head coach, new regime, and I know the Cardinals actually have a couple extra days of rest because they played on Thursday, but not as much rest as Minnesota had. If you could buy the half point to 3, I wouldn't pay more than minus 130 for it. That would make me feel better, but I'm okay with it at 3.5 or even 4. Give me the Vikings.
Okay. The Vikings, I don't mind. They do seem to win and not cover. That hook is a dangerous spot for them. I'm going to go with this total. We got Hopkins back. We got the Cardinals on the road, the cover machine. So let's just go ahead and pop this 48.5, I believe I grabbed before we get to too much of a higher number. And that's what I have on this one. So it's nice that we've given out 2 plays. We'll take the over and the minus 3.5. And now we can move on to New England versus the Jets. It's a shame to see Breece Hall go down last week. I was really excited to watch the Jets continue to smash week in and week out. We've got some interesting movement here. I see the Patriots on the road taking the money and the points. What were you thinking here?
Well, Pat's on a short week, and obviously quarterback play was an issue last week. But I got to go with the Jets. I mean, I don't know how, if James Robinson's even going to play, or if maybe they'll have a small package of plays for him. I think in the long run, that was a pretty good acquisition. I'm not saying he's Breece Hall, but, he's a guy that, had a 1,000-yard season a couple years ago. When Urban Meyer wasn't, yanking him in and out of the lineup in favor of Hyde, his guy from Ohio State, he was pretty good most of the time last year. I know he lost his job to Eaton this year, but the Jags are just a mess. I think it's a pretty good fill in long term. I don't know that is going to be much of a factor this week, but I got to go with the Jets, man. They're hot. They're kind of like the Giants. They're just finding ways to win. And again, New England on a short week did not like at all what I saw from the Patriots the other night. So I will go with the Jets. Now I prefer them. I only feel confident in them in a teaser, like I mentioned earlier with the Cowboys and the G-men, bumping them up to 9.5. But for conversation purposes, I'll take the Jets on the straight play.
I'm okay with that. I have the Patriots written down because you see they opened at -1.5. It had moved to -2.5 while I was doing some show prep earlier. I'm now seeing threes, which is exactly what I was hoping for. Let me catch the 2.5 before we cross this number. Now we see threes on the board. If this pops up to a 3.5 anywhere, I'm just going to split the difference and hope that it lands at a 3-point field goal game. And hopefully I can hit 2. If I don't, I'll lose a little juice. So that was my plan for this game. We're going to put, and that kind of correlates with what you're saying. You want to take the Jets +3 or more. I want to take the Patriots -2.5 until we get there. If you want to take both sides and hope for a middle, go for it. Titans-Texans. They say the Texans cover on the road, or they cover, what are they? They have some good numbers on the cover right now. But every time I bet them, they don't seem to cover.
Well, were you throwing it over to me yet?
No, just 6 and 3 there. I was just going through to try and see what it was, and I've caught all 3 of those, apparently. So what do you got here for Titans-Texans?
Yeah, this is my favorite play of the week. I like the Titans. It hasn't been pretty, but that's just kind of what the Titans do since the 0-2 start. 4 wins in a row. Nothing flashy offensively, but very solid defense. Giving up 22 to Vegas, which is scoring a lot more than that. 10 to Indy one time, 17 to Indy another time, 17 to the Commanders. 4 games. Derrick Henry has run for 85, 114, 102, and 128 yards. And now he faces a Texans defense that is dead last in the NFL at defending the run and number 31 in total defense. And Dameon Pierce has given the Houston offense a little bit of a spark, but they're facing a Titans defense that is 4th in the NFL against the run. And Houston just not getting very good quarterback play from Davis Mills and generating a pedestrian 17.7 points per game. So I think it'll be a close game. Houston will hang in, but I think Texans get it done. I actually got Texans on the money line at -120 very, very, very early in the week on Monday. But I mean, I guess I would be good with it up to 3 or fewer, and you can still get. I don't know if there's any 2s left, but definitely some 2.5s left. So Titans for me.
Excellent. I'm going to jump on the under 40.5, even though it doesn't look like it's a slam dunk play. I do always wonder. The Titans should beat the Texans, but I'm going to go ahead and just hope that it's a little bit of the slower pace game. I like betting Titans unders. It's always better to do while they're at home, but we'll just hope that the Texans have an offensive struggle and we can stay under the 40.5. Let's put you down for your -2.5. I like that. Giants Seahawks. East Coast team traveling to the West Coast. Never seems to fare well. Seahawks look pretty good. So do the Giants. What do you think about this one?
Man, I think these are 2 teams that I don't want to go against. I have been on The Giants, let me see here. Well, just 3 times, but I'm 3-0. Had them plus 5.5 in week 1. Had them last week. That was my big play. Yeah, I even pressed them live whenever they fell behind early. Was able to get them at plus 5.5. Got some plus 180 money line, and I had them against Baltimore. I'm not bragging on my handicap. I mean, they got outstatted, certainly by a lot of their opponents. They've been outstatted, but you know what? Sometimes chemistry, you get on a roll, good coaching, good play calling, and the Giants are just they're playing really good in the fourth quarter. They're making all the plays in the fourth quarter. Last 3 games, trailed in the fourth quarter against the Packers, trailed against Baltimore, trailed against Jacksonville, but they made all the plays in the fourth quarter. And with the way Geno Smith has been rolling, and the way the Giants have kind of been slow starters, like I would say our listeners should probably. Or I mean, look, my play is going to be the Giants plus 3. But my best strategy in terms of attacking this game, gambling wise, I think Seattle is going to get out to a lead to be able to live bet the Giants at a better number. Hopefully maybe even up to plus 6 or 7. Um, I think that would be the best way to attack it because they hang around and then they make all the plays in the fourth quarter. But like I said earlier, I like the Giants in a teaser with the Cowboys and Jets, and I'll say Giants plus 3. But I tell you, yeah, I won't have much on the Giants going in. But again, if Seattle gets out like a 7-0 lead, a 10-0 lead, 14-3, I can get the Giants plus 7 or even plus 6 or better live. I'll be pressing and doing that.
I'm totally with you on that. I'm coming in from the other angle. I was thinking similar to you. I'm going to take the Seahawks minus the 3, and then after the early scores, I'm going to jump on the Giants and hope for another middle. So we'll write you down for the G-Men plus 3. I guess we'll push that game. So it's kind of a moot point, but let's move on. Commanders Colts. Did we finally bench Matt Ryan? Are we done? Battling a shoulder injury, I see, or something, but officially just benched, I believe.
Yeah. And I don't bet on quarterbacks making their first career start. Sam Ellinger, I'm interested to see him. He certainly, Indy has not gotten good O-line play, and he certainly brings something to the table that Matt Ryan doesn't, and that is elite scrambling ability. And he's a tough runner too, or at least he was in college. I know he's only gotten in at garbage time 3 times in his career. But I can't back Indy, with a guy making his first career start, even though it is at home. I thought Heineke provided a spark for Washington, but I'm thinking under 39.5 is probably the better way to go. As I see you nodding, yeah. I think I'm just going to go under, which is 6-1 overall for the Colts, and it's on a 4-1 run for the Commanders. So I will go under 39.5. Is that what we're looking at?
It is what it is right now. Yes, 39.5. I do not see any better numbers.
There we go.
All right. Well, I'm definitely in with 39.5. I actually think this might be my favorite play of the game. Definitely. Let's exploit the rookie quarterbacks, people with inexperience. Heineke's not a rookie. He's just not great. Do I expect that he really has a ceiling to put us under here? Maybe, but it's probably it's definitely in the single digit probability. It's most likely not going to happen. We'll just go with the under and move on. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, but I definitely feel like that's the best play in that game. The Niners, are they my new favorite team? I mean, no, but am I excited to watch them keep playing with Christian McCaffrey? Absolutely. What are you thinking about Niners at Rams?
Well, obviously the Rams won the NFC title game against the Niners last year, but in the regular season, San Fran's won 4 in a row over the Rams, both straight up and against the spread. Kyle Shanahan is 8-3, both straight up and against the spread against McVay during the regular season. And I really don't think either one of these teams is playing very good right now. So they're not. I'm not like sprinting to the window to back either team, but just the head-to-head success, and certainly in the regular season for the Niners will have me go San Fran here.
You gonna take San Francisco -1?
Yeah. Yep.
That was the first play, and then I'm also gonna dabble on this under 43. Yeah, the defense should be enough. I don't. The Rams don't look great. The Niners offense is really just not focused on popping big plays or trying to put up a ton of points. I feel like we're going to be safe just taking the under 43.5. We got a little bit of a gift as it bumped up 2.5 points, I think. So we'll come back down on the other side, and hopefully we can stick an under there. Packers Bills. Rodgers looks amazing. I think there's some of these teams that are going to be ready to pack it in here by week 10 to 12. What are you thinking for Packers Bills?
I made the number 11, so I think it's a good number. This is the richest underdog spot of Aaron Rodgers' career. When he has been an underdog of 3.5 or more, he is 15-10 against the spread. However, I can't. I mean, Green Bay is just struggling too bad. I mean, I know it's a double-digit number with Aaron Rodgers catching more points than he's ever caught, but I just can't do it, man. I cannot get behind Green Bay. I would probably like, and I'm not even looking at a first half line. I would probably prefer Buffalo in the first half if it's 7 or fewer. But just for our official record purposes on the show, I will actually eat the chalk and go with Buffalo. They're number 1 in the NFL in total defense, run defense, scoring defense, total offense, passing yards, and second in scoring. I probably prefer them in the first half. If it's 7 or fewer.
We have a
And
6.5 right here.
Oh, beautiful. That would be my favorite play on it. If I got to pick it for the game, I'll go Buffalo, but I'd prefer 6.5 in the first half.
We're going to write you down for over 6.5, or it's spread of 6.5 in the first half. I'm going to take under 47.5. The Packers, their offense is struggling. The Bills have a great defense. The Bills just look great. Man, I don't think the Packers are going to give up 30 points, but maybe they will. We'll see how that goes. Under is my play on that one. Let's see. Cincinnati, Cleveland. Joe Burrow is back. He's going to dominate every week again after they lost a couple of games and everybody freaked out.
I could see that. There's no bigger Joe Burrow fan than this guy right here. The Bengals are 3-1 against the spread on the road. I know it was my Falcons defense and a secondary that is banged up, but Burrow looked fantastic last week. Browns played tough last week, but they're 1-3 both straight up and against the spread at home on the season. I would prefer if we could buy the half point to 3, if it's not more than -130. But if not, that's okay. I think the Bengals win by a touchdown or so.
You want to take the Bengals -3.5?
I do.
3.5. I got burnt on that Atlanta game with Joe Burrow popping off for a solid 35 points.
I did as well.
I believe we have, their last 10, they're still 8-2 to the under. I'm going to try and squeeze in an under 46.5 on this game, I believe. And I think we had some movement on that as well. Dropped from 47 to 46.5. We got a lot of sharp money coming in on that side. I'm going to jump on it before it drops any lower. Hopefully we get a nice battle of Ohio, just like we're hoping to get there in Pennsylvania. And those are my plays for that game. Do you want to go ahead and run down your favorite teasers or player props that you have that we haven't covered through the game list?
Well, yeah, I mentioned that teaser a couple of times, a 7-point teaser, which would, and now very important that you push on a teaser if your number on Dallas is 3. Where I got it, I was able to take it from 9.5 to 2.5. and then the Giants plus 10 and the Jets plus 9.5. But if -3 or if a push on a teaser loses for you, then I would not do Dallas. Just do Jets and Giants as more lucrative underdogs. And that is the only teaser I have now. I have been hitting Mike Evans receiving yards over props a lot, but I know he got banged up. I mean, he's gonna give it a go tonight, right? I'm
I
pretty
believe
sure.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna throw it back to you, and I'm gonna look up. No, actually, I just don't know that I want to. I don't know that I want to do his receiving yards just because of the injury, or
Mhm.
maybe not being at 100%. So it's not because of Kyle Pitts, and it's not because of Drake London. It's because Arthur Smith is an absolute moron. So whatever, and I'll look him up after I throw it back to you. But whatever the receiving yards prop for Kyle Pitts and Drake London, I want it under just because Arthur Smith does not he makes no effort to get the ball to his best players. And Kyle Pitts' receiving yards props have gone under every single game except for Seattle when suddenly Arthur Smith started calling plays for Pitts and they started just moving the ball up and down the field. He's drawing defensive holdings, pass interferences, etc. But for some reason, that moron just does not want to get the ball to his best players. So just because of a lack of touches, I will go under on Drake London and Kyle Pitts receiving yards. And as I throw it back to you, I'll look up those numbers. Sorry, I didn't have them yet.
Sounds good. I don't have much to add here. I said this one earlier on Live Locks. I like the Travis Etienne with James Robinson out of town over 69.5 rushing yards this week. I understand it's the Broncos defense, but any adequate running back that's actually behind a line and has some sort of running scheme with them has been able to put up decent chunk yardage. I believe there's only been one or two teams that have really struggled to put up 100 yards against the Broncos. So it's not – their rush defense isn't as good as maybe people think. I think that's going to be a spot where the Jaguars are going to try and exploit. He's also averaging 6.1 yards per carry. So if he gets 12 carries, we're getting to 69.5. I just don't see how there's I don't see how he doesn't catch. So I really like that play. I'm jumping on that one pretty heavy. And then I had a touchdown play, but it was mispriced and it's been pulled from the board. So I'll skip that one.
Well, so last week or early in the year, Kyle Pitts' receiving yards props were in the mid 50s. I looked at it last week and it was 42.5. And I was just like, surely they're going to throw it to him this week. And I ignorantly took the over. And now I'm just shocked. The lowest last week, it was 42.5. And now this week it's 33.5. So that's actually a little lower than I thought. So I'm actually going to cancel that. I'll still do the Drake London. It is 38.5. I'll do that under, and I'll replace the Pitts under with A.J. Brown over 66.5 receiving yards for the Eagles against the Steelers. And I'm not on his player page, but I played his over against the Cowboys the other week. And as I was writing up that, I think he had gone over his receiving yards prop. I want to say every game except for one, and then they were off last week. So I think he's gone over every time but one. And so A.J. Brown over 66.5 receiving yards against the Steelers.
I mean, I like that. I can get on board with that one with you. So I think that's going to wrap it up for us. Guys, we are currently 56, 30, and 3. So make sure you lock in all these plays. We are on a tear. It may not last forever, but let's take the money while we're making it. That is the end of our Week 8 show. Brian, thanks for joining me. It was great having you. And we're out. Have a good one.
Enjoyed it, Ryan. Thanks so much for having me.